Hold on to your 40-inch wigs. I'm Anna Rumor with Pop Culture.
And I'm Nick Valdez from comicbook.com.
And this is Dragged, where we offer our unfiltered opinions about RuPaul's Drag Race. Because I gotta tell you, Nick, I'm having a problem. I cannot stop saying, you better walk that duck. We're going into episode 3 of season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we have gone to heaven or hell. I can't quite decide. What did you think of this week's episode?
It's an adjustment. We went from having a double premiere that was like 3-4 hours, epic length, right?
Yes.
to these 45-minute edits.
Justice for my mini challenge, because this week we're just jumping straight into the challenge. I was shook when Ru came out and just was like, yeah, no one is dancing to peanut butter in old woman garb, we're diving right in, and we're making an infomercial for drag queen heaven. Let's talk about the successful one. Because we have our queens together. We get Anitra, my queen, you better walk that duck. Lex Noir London, Sasha Colby, Selena Estides, and Marsha all together in a group. And right off the bat, I was like, I think these are gonna do great together. These are some really big powerhouses. And right off the bat, when they start to get together and they start to come up with an idea, I was like, okay, I feel like they have a concept and they are executing said concept in a way that the other teams are maybe not.
Which is weird, right? Like, it's like, because you'd figure it, right? Like, you figured the strength wouldn't be, oh, they have an idea.
Yeah. Yes.
They follow through with that idea, and being prepared even slightly was something more that the other groups did not, because we had group 2 led by Amethyst, who survived the lip sync last week. Mm-hmm. And, she picked her group, and, we started seeing animosity between them almost immediately. Then we have group 3, the leftovers.
Okay, first of all, justice for Mistress Isabella Brooks and Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. How dare they be in the leftovers? These are my queens. We got Jax, who just jump roped her own hair last week, Robin Fierce, who's stunning, and Sugar.
And Sugar, yes.
Sugar. The lesser twin.
Unfortunately, that's starting to come through a lot more. In their group, it wasn't so much that they were arguing with one another. It was just that Sugar was really the only one with ideas. Yeah. And, Sugar had these funny moments, and kind of, we'll see in the actual playing out of the skit that she carried the thing. She carried it. And, and it's unfortunate because we see her pitching these ideas and then getting shut down immediately. And then
physically moved by Jax.
Yeah, yes, only for Jax to be like, oh, well, I wrote everything. I took control of everything. And then we see the end result. And it's like, oh, no. Poor Sugar. It made me really feel for Sugar.
Honestly, I know I just made fun of Sugar, and it's all shade. I'm obsessed with the twins more and more. The time that I see them, I'm like, yes, absolutely, you're everything I want in Drag Race. But, we're getting these edits with her every episode where it works. At the beginning, I'm like, oh my gosh, Sugar, Spice, like, chill out. And then we see that they're very talented. So at the beginning, I'm like, Sugar, just let everyone else talk. We gotta get into the skit. And then you realize that she is the only one saying anything worth anything.
We see Group 1's concept was, basically Palm Springs. And then we see the skit, and Sasha does this neck crack thing to
funny.
I was like, oh, thank you.
It was so stupid and so funny. Just the movement of it, and just having repetition. Repetition is comedy. And that was very funny. Honestly, though, I thought the funniest line of the entire sketch was, I died a local girl? That sent me. I thought that was very funny, very underrated.
Unfortunately, it was the only funny one. Let's be real about that, because Group 2 comes along and it is rough. You got your lewd humor, which is fine. That's RuPaul's Drag Race. There's a ton of it.
Right, but it has to be funny. That's the whole thing. Blue humor is great, but it's got to be humor, and there was not a single thing. I'm no prude, but I was like, I'm not laughing at any of this. I'm not offended, but I'm not laughing.
It was too high concept, maybe, with like the mimosas in the mimosa.
You are very generous for calling that high concept. It was no concept to me. I have no idea what that was.
I don't know. Like I'm trying to piece together how I feel about it, but I'm really just like nonplussed about the whole thing. I was kind of just stone-faced, and like it's unfortunate when I was supposed to laugh. It's the same thing for Group 3, where notably no one laughs. Like you don't even hear a single RuPaul laugh like during the entire sketch. Like all we get after it's over is all right.
I didn't get the concept at all. The only funny thing was Sugar saying, "I love the BLT community." That was the only thing that I thought was funny. And the rest of it, you could just tell that they had worked so hard on trying to come up with this framework, but they forgot to add jokes.
It's a shame too, because like the concept sounds like it could be fun. Heaven for you, hell for us. It sounds like a jagged edge kind of like, oh, he's cynical take on the concept, but it just fell flat in every single capacity.
Let's just get through the runways. The theme is Metallica. We've got Maren Morris as the guest judge, who, she looks stunning. But we start off with Anitra in this kind of like silver bodysuit duster. I love the coat. The bodysuit was whatever for me, but I feel like she probably made it.
I agree. The coat is what made it. Without the coat, it's kind of the same look that we get from a lot of the other queens this week. So thank God she had the coat.
Okay, but whenever you've got the coat and then you've got Sasha Colby up next with this like silver phoenix ensemble, oh my God, this is her season to lose because she looked fantastic.
Yeah, like, oh my, that's just, I wonder if that's going to backfire, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, I hope, like, when she has a weaker week, it's not amplified because she's so great.
Right.
But it's, as of now, like, stunning. I was just completely, when you hear Metallica, something about Sasha Colby's looks is just like, oh, yes, that's it. That's the one.
Well, and another interpretation of the theme given to us by Selena Estides is a street sign.
See, that I like the idea, but I also agree that headlamp thing didn't quite translate.
It went from me hating it the moment she walked out to me going, well, wait, is it good? And then me circling back around and going, no, it's not good.
I mean, I'm a fan of the street sign thing. This is who she is. She's from the streets, and I.
Much like a fire hydrant, she is from the streets.
And that's what it is. It was just a confusing silhouette. It's just it needed something. I don't know. That headlamp wasn't doing it. That headlamp was not it. That was not the something. At least she goes for something. Then we compared to the next two, we have Luxe Noir London, who
What? You didn't like this? Sorry, I'm interrupting, but I'm mad.
She's gorgeous, but it's like I don't know. It's gorgeous, but it just I'm missing the fun, I need more of Luxe.
Yeah, okay. That's a valid critique that I hate, but it's okay because I thought she looked beautiful. I love that dress so much. I don't know how she got it to like move that way. She looked like liquid metal. I love it. Do you know who I did not love though? Our good friend at Tin Man, Marsha, because honey, what is this?
Marsha, we're starting to see that one of her gimmicks is the nose, right? Like, a little bit of something on the nose, but the rest of the face is still kind of like, oh, maybe she should have listened to the judge's critique a little bit more. Because the rest of the Tin Man outfit, I love the coloring, I love the idea of it being rusted, but I don't know, we've seen much better Tin Men on the runway before. And it's just like, oh, the season 15, step it up a little bit.
Amethyst comes out next with this kind of golden goddess ruffle look. I liked it. But when you look close up, it does look not unfinished, but just not quite up to Drag Race standards, which I get. These girls come on with nothing. It's very expensive to be on Drag Race. But when you're looking at it that closely, you do start to notice these little details. Although that coat comes in very handy later, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. I agree that the wig might have been too much for me.
Yeah.
But here I am saying she's doing too much. But then I'm like, oh, with Lux, you're not doing enough. So, at least Amethyst was going for it. And that I appreciate. But then compare that to Princess Poppy. It gives me like, yes, girl, you're giving me nothing. Yes, please, more. Come on,
So a little bit of behind the scenes tea. She did say that this was a backup look because she had a designer making her a look for this who just didn't come through with it. But still, for a backup look, this was rough. I mean, it was just nothing,
Can we talk about Spice though? Yes, rewind. Make sure your clocks are turned back at 1999. Y2K vibes. Oh my God.
Xenon, the sequel, baby. I mean, she looked so perfect. Y2K princess with little dog. I had that little dog at that time. She's beautiful, and her looks are very on brand. We know just exactly who Spice is, and same with Sugar.
Sugar's, unfortunately, we see it after, and it's the same kind of look, which is probably what we're gonna get a lot from the two of them. Mm-hmm. But after you see Spice makes that impact with the color and just it's hard to compare. Spice really knocked it out of the park this week.
I do wonder if that's going to happen all season. Whichever one goes first, we like better. Because last week we liked Sugar's Belle look better because she went first. And I wonder what happened. Is it just seeing two in a row that are very similar? You're like, well, the first one was better. I'm not sure. Maybe they're just switching back and forth between who gets the good look. But I'm curious about that. Well, and then we have Aura Mayari up next, who's giving me, Power Rangers, Poison Ivy. I don't know. It wasn't bad, but it didn't really speak to me. What about you?
It was a fun Rita Repulsa look, specifically the Power Rangers movie, the one that came out in 2017, with the melted green fire look. It's cool, but it's one of those things it's very safe, and it probably won't be much longer that we'll see Aura around. Let's be honest here.
The trade of the season gone so soon? Okay, I'm being rude now. We got Lucy LaDuca up next, and this is giving me Chromatica PTA meeting, because I love the bottom and I hated the wig.
I thought so too. It's such a cool look. I'm loving the color. I'm loving the way it hits my eyes. But it's her wigs. She got called out for the Dolly Parton wig earlier too, and it's just. Maybe it's she dresses feet to head. Maybe.
Honestly, she would have been better off wearing that Dolly Parton wig with this. It was just so small and so flat for this huge robo look. I didn't get that. Well, and then we've got Jax who comes up next, and I'm not a Mortal Kombat girly. I don't know really about that, but from a quick Google, it does look like that character, but it wasn't drag enough for me,
Yeah, can confirm it's a great Mortal Kombat look. I lost it. I was feeling it. I was, I'm loving the metal arms, but you are also right. It needed that sparkle. It needed, when you see everyone else, even Princess Poppy shining a little bit, you're like, oh, yeah, you needed, maybe the arms should have been more glossy or prominent, something that little punch, right?
I feel like a glossier arm, a cinched waist, or a little bit of padding would have dragged this up, but it looked like, Mortal Kombat cosplay, which is great, but not what we're doing right now.
Then you see Robin Fierce, who has this gorgeous look, who looks also like a Mortal Kombat character, just kind of glammed up, and it's like, oh, this is what you should have done.
1,000%. I thought the same thing. And then we've got Mistress who comes up, and she's got this, the shoulders out towards the heavens. She looked stunning. I'm obsessed with this look, and I loved how we just went down to her like dainty little feet at the bottom after all of this like hair and shoulders up top. I loved it. I know some people wanted more with the gown on the bottom, but I really liked where it ended.
No, because then it would have distracted from the chain. Like, look, like, I mean, I was 1,000% in. I don't think, like, I don't want her to pull out a full gown look yet. Like, that's the other thing, too. I think Mistress is just playing with us. Like, she's like, you know I have this. You know I have this in my back pocket.
It's so true. She's like, this is from my closet. I haven't even had to buy anything yet, and I love her for it. Speaking of full gowns, we get Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. She's got this beautiful white gown on. It did feel a little similar to what we saw last week, but less successful to me.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's solid. It's a very solid look. It's a lot better than some of the others.
Yeah.
But also, I'm in that same boat where I'm like, I wanted more, you know?
It's then we come down to the judgings, and for the tops of the week, we get Sasha, Luxe Noir London, and Lucy LaDuca coming straight up from the bottom. But of course, it's got to be Sasha Colby that wins. She's God.
Yeah, God had to win. If God didn't win, and God was the only funny one this week, really.
Truly.
I would have been upset. I would have rioted. I would have said, you know what? I'm taking the 45-minute edit in stride. You can't do this to me.
Exactly. You can't give me both of these things. And then in the bottom, kind of not unexpectedly, we've got Amethyst, Princess Poppy, and then Jax is the third one who ends up being safe. But it ends up being Amethyst and Princess Poppy who are lip syncing for their lives. What do you think about this? Amethyst, 2 weeks, 2 lip syncs.
Oh, that's rough. Like, after Irene was eliminated and I thought she was getting set up to be like the season narrator, I was like, they can't do this to Amethyst, who was also the season narrator already.
Who's gonna narrate the season? Yeah. And they do Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Amethyst has got this beautiful coat so she can Diana Ross her way through it. Princess Poppy is popping something on stage to Diana Ross, which, Rue does not like. I was not shocked that she was the one who sashayed away. Were you?
No, she was doing way too much. Maybe this song isn't the most active. Like, it's not exactly the energy you want at the start of the season, but I am glad Amethyst is sticking around.
Me too. I am. Also, we couldn't get a Maren Morris song in there? Anyways. Next week, though, we have Snatch Game. Already. A double Snatch Game in like 45 minutes. Nick, I'm scared.
I am also scared. I feel like we are being blessed by if these sketches were anything to go by, maybe a quicker edit on these Snatch Games is the right move.
It'll be what it'll be, and we're going to talk about it next week. So make sure you tune in. Every week we've got our opinions, clearly, and we're going to share them with you on Drag. So we'll see you next time.